Good evening. So let's talk about the magic box, a subject that many of you are anxious to speak about. First, I will tell you what. So today, I went to the bank, and also I've created, the variation of this the cooler, the picnic cooler, and a lot of stuff that I've uploaded like other versions of it, like to short videos, but also with the fans, with this fan and all of the other fan with backgrounds. I don't want to get into too much to it, like the symbolic language, because it doesn't really matter. You know what it means. It means that that the people that the Titans and the Homo sapiens that ate the Jews, the fence, like that they are the starships, should rain radiation on them. So it's basically that. Let's not get too much into detail. Certainly when it's not needed. Some people, tried. Israelis with their shenanigans try to tell me that. Don't you worry about your daughters, or maybe, God forbid, something happened to them, or don't you worry about your ex significant other, because she is human, not a Titan. But and I don't know how much stuff that she got from she got from the distribution network. But she was married to me and we had sex. So not once or not twice. As natural. So of course that in itself made her what I call hybrid. Obviously she has it in her body, even if just because of the reason that she was married to me. So some people try to hint me that I should worry about them or things like that, and I've said it many times. The biggest one of the biggest issues that that Homo sapiens has have with the existence of God is that they accept that God exists only if they can imagine him as a creature that has no thinking abilities, that has no brain, that is not consciousness or something like that. It's quite an I don't know how to approach this kind of method or methodology, and I think it's something Jewish. I would say that it's probably more common among Jews than other people. I would suggest that they like their God not only transcendental and out of this world and without form and without body and without but also without brain. It's I'm their God should not really exist. They both believe in God and don't believe in God at the same time. It's very common among Jews, and it's not a new thing. It's actually, and it already, at some variation, it already existed during the second, the Judaism of the Second Temple. Ancient variations of what I say now, could already be found in the New Testament, in the words of Jesus. It's not a new issue. It's very old thing, but it doesn't change. It keeps being like that, and even worse, than 2,000 years ago. So they think that God is they at least some of them or many of them at least declaratively or the declaration level. Yes, they say they believe in God and but it must be completely mute God, God that that has no form at all, is no not only in Islam, for example, they also it's very important that not to paint God or that God must have no form at all. So they vehemently reject sculptures you could see in churches. Even more than actually they do it even more than Jews actually. But Jews they also they don't have to say anything about God. God is supposedly something that not really exists. It's just it's kind of a shallow. It's an empty definition. And you. It's not that you cannot create like pictures of him or like symbols of him, but you can't say nothing about him. And I mean, and like because anything that you say will be false. So I mean, and supposedly I mean, it's not even like he can't. It's not like I mean. There is no, I mean, they say, I mean, Bezrat Hashem, and Hashem Yitbarach, but they don't really believe in providence. Like, in the deep sense, Ashgacha, I mean, they don't really think that it's a sin. Like, I mean, they just say it. I mean, it's just like words. I mean, yeah, Bezrat Hashem, but they don't really believe that God actually, I mean, looks on this world and, like, manages the world. I mean, for them, it's like, I mean, it's like an abstract thing that with no characteristics at all, and certainly no brain. I mean, and so, I don't really understand it. I mean, I understand some of it, but I mean, it's something ancient. As I said, I mean, it's some point this curiosity already existed, like during Jesus' time, like I mean, the Second Temple Judaism. It's not new at all. Anyway, I mean, the best I can say, like on the issues like of my daughter is that I mean, God exists. I mean, and draw your own conclusions. I mean, it's kind of stupid to speak about the symbolic language, even though I can. I mean. I can't speak about it, and there is much to say, but I mean, I don't think that any one of you really cares because I mean, your whole paradigm is that this is all. I mean, everything is random, and supposedly I'm like a natural phenomenon. Like I mean, I was created like by I don't know solar winds or something, and like I mean, that everything is like I mean completely random and I mean brainless, and I mean, especially among the Israelis, I mean that I think the world just I mean. Completely random and doesn't make any sense, and I mean, I mean, like the religions is actually I mean some kind of like you know minhag, like I mean like tradition that I mean you hold like you know just I mean it will be different than others because you need to identify like it's important like to be like a different group like I mean like to justify like why you I mean you treat all others like as garbage, but I mean you don't really believe in any supernatural like I mean or like I would say any like spiritual thing. I mean. De facto, I mean, yes, you have your group, but I mean, what dictates your life is like, I mean, what dictates the life of lizards? Like, I mean, just lizard people. I mean, what can I say more than that? Lizard people. So let's put it aside. Say yes. I mean, the fans are working, and they'll be working harder and harder. I mean, until someone will actually, I mean, understand that we need to be rescued from this Nazi hell, and that I mean, all these ridiculous talks about like. Judges and courts and like you know and police. This is insanity. I'm a political prisoner. I'm a prisoner of war. Like and they captured like the alien and they hold it like in using force and they don't let it go because they want to abuse him like to the maximum extent. What's it's got to do with courtrooms? It's just it's not even like Soviet like Bolshevik like fake trials. It's not even fake trials. It's like I mean it's even less than that. It's like it's a stupid theater show that is that's got even less substance than the classical I would say like Soviet like fake trials. It's even got less substance than that. So no, I don't need any of this shit. I need the rest to be rescued using I mean force. That's what I need. Let's continue. So what I've done today, I went to like to try. I mean, like first of all, I went to the bank like to get my, like the money that I have like from Social Security, and also I try to look for like a freezer for my room because this will be helpful for me. But it's not easy to find like a small one, and the smallest that I found is actually pretty big, even though not that big. But it costs about like 1,000 shekels, and it's almost all the money that I have. Like I have like 1,100 shekels right now, and. I mean, so it's almost everything that I have, but maybe I'll buy it anywhere. I need to think about it, but maybe I'll buy it anyway because it's important. But then I will be left with like 100 shekels, but I mean, most of it for a long time now. I mean, I had only zero, so I mean, it's more than zero. So, but yes, I'll probably do it. I mean, unless I can find like a way to buy even a cheaper one, smaller one, because freezer is important, and. So I also bought like another one of these. This is like I mean honey and wax, like beeswax, and a metal container, which are very important. So what I will do now is that I will speak about like the magic box. I would not do it like strictly like in like as I did it previously, like in kind of like a timeline way, like in chronological way. But I will just speak about like things that come to my mind because it's going to be easier. And maybe I'll watch a video later and I'll like I think like as things that I missed, I will just create another video with more details. This will be the simplest way. The Israelis, they're so ridiculous. They want me to like give them to write like a prescription of like how to make stuff, and some people actually have the audacity to say that if I like give them like whatever, I don't know, that this or that amount of like gold or diamonds or whatever, they will I'll be free, like that, they will release me from captivity. This is so funny. I don't know. It's like it's like I don't know, like it's a little gremlin that that looks like, sorry to say that, like a little gremlin that that watches like a dinosaur, like a brontosaurus, like looming above him, and so he tries to deal with him, to negotiate, like I don't know. You're disgusting little gremlins. You're all going to die very soon. What kind of deals do you? Of course, it doesn't make any sense, and of course, no one will. Stand by his word, and this doesn't mean anything at all. And the whole thought is ridiculous, and you couldn't have done it even if I would give you a prescription. And why should I even care about you at all? And most of all, why do you care about it at all? You shouldn't. You need to think about life. Like are you planning to take the gold to your grave? It's amazing, like how the whole every kind of like irrational behavior that you can find in classical text, or in the Bible, or in fairy tales, or in children tales, or every kind of irrational behavior that when you read this description, you say to yourself, yeah, people don't really act that way. That's stupid. This is just a morality tale. So for the purpose of conveying the morals of the story, the author portrayed people that way. But in reality, they behave just like that and even worse. Every lunacy, every ridiculous thing that you could find in any classical text, or supposedly moralistic text, or in ancient fairy tale, or children tale, or 1001 Nights. Every kind of a ridiculous character behavior that you would say to yourself, people don't really act that way. That's just for the morals. They also just did it for the write like that for the moral, to convey moral papers. But yeah, they act just like that and even worse. Just like that and even worse. And in the 21st century, and in developed country, in seemingly developed country, with the most advanced values, and they do everything. So there is that common. It's so common. The character that is so is so attached to his gold, or to his thought of gold, that even when the cave with all the gold is collapsing, and it exists in so many. You can say, I would say that in the 21st century, many of you maybe watch the Force and kind of not that good Indiana Jones. So so you see that in the end of the Indiana Jones, but this is actually it's like a cliche. It appears in so many movies, and way before the time of the cinema, in so many stories. It's like a cliche element, of the person that it's like a metaphor for someone that is so attached to money and gold that he prefers to save to try to save a little bit of gold when the cave with all the treasure is collapsing, and the heroes they have more common sense, so they run away from the cave. But he is the bad one, but eventually his own bad character is the thing that kills him, because he cannot leave the gold, so he tries to hold to it, and the time passes, and just everything collapses on him, and he's dead. So this is kind of a morality tale, but in reality people act just like that. They do it right now. It's exactly what's happening before your eyes. It's not a morality tale. It's not 100,000 Nights. It's not the Bible. It's not Aesop's parables. It's not the end Greek mythology, and it's not Indiana Jones 4 and the Crystal Skull. It's reality right now. That's what they do. The world is literally collapsing upon them, and they think about like how to get a little bit more money. That is the way. That is the way. What can I say? This is the way. This is the way. Ridiculous. But I do want to speak about this magic box because I mean, and another thing that people tell me, and I get it quite a lot during the last couple of days, is that I mean to recreate like the journey like that I've done like the last time. That I mean, remind you that I mean this will be a violation of the terms like of the arrest. And the last time I mean I was actually arrested after that, and I mean if I do it again I will for certainly be thrown to the jail for at least until like December, without any kind of like and they wanted to do it I mean just because they think I mean they correctly think I mean because I've said it and it's true that I mean it helped like I mean the creation of stuff like in the magic box, and it's true. But I mean so they say okay, so do it again, so to create more stuff because we want to steal more things from you, even though this will I mean most certainly I mean put me in jail until December. I mean, and they don't care. I mean, and you ask yourself like how stupid can you be? How disgusting and stupid can you be? This will certainly put me in jail. Why should I do it? I mean, what should I gain from it? Nothing at all. Just nothing. And the stupidity is amazing. It's amazing. Now it should say that I mean, there was always this problem. I mean, and this is like this dichotomy. Like, and this actually, I mean, it actually, I mean, it was an issue. I mean that was present, and I spoke about like even like in my mother's apartment, like I mean before the second arrest, and I mean much more so. I mean it was actually present here in like in this hostel. That I mean on the one hand, like so just a minute, I will do you know what? Let's just continue. So so let's. I mean, maybe I'll continue in a bit.